Hey guys, and welcome back to Sloan's Garage. It's raining right now, and it's Oregon. This time of year is what happens here. But so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to throw oil in the rear end, and I'm going to take the carb off that I got secondhand, and I bought a rebuild kit, and I'm also going to put a slightly bigger jet in the primaries. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. Alright, now we're underneath the car. So the plug on this rear end's just right there. Like I said, 3/8 drive. If I can get it on there. Just take it out. And when you're putting oil in rear ends, you can buy like little pumps and stuff to make it easier. But what I'm doing is, this is just 3/8 fuel line, and I cut this. I'm just going to let it gravity, I guess, feed or fill the rear end while I'm taking the carb off and doing that other stuff, trying to get multiple things done at once so I can get out of the rain as quick as possible. But alright, so I got the carb off and on my little makeshift workbench for right now. And so the rebuild kit I'm doing, or using, is an AED rebuild kit for the Carters and Eldebrock carbs, which are more or less the same thing. I think there's subtle differences, but so what you want to start by doing is, I already took the bracket off, but bracket for the accelerator pump off, take all these top bolts out, and then you gotta take these little cotter pins out. That's one of the linkages for the choke, to get that off, and then this whole top plate will come off, and then we can start replacing all the, like, with new gaskets and filters and whatnot, and spray out all the orifices with I'm going to be using just brake clean, but you could do it with carb cleaner. I like brake clean better. Okay, got the top off. So what I'm going to start by doing is taking this old gasket off for one, and then take these floats off so I can get to, I think, the needle and seats, what's under here, and that's what controls the fuel flow. So once the floats hit the top and close it, it'll cut off fuel, and then when it goes down, it needs more fuel, it'll start letting more fuel in, and, you know, never-ending cycle for that. So I'm gonna do that first, and then underneath these squirters and the angular boosters, I think that's what these are, got new gaskets to go under all those and spray out all the orifices. It's got a new little seal to go on the plunger for the accelerator pump to put on. It's very these are very basic carburetors, and that's probably why they work so damn good. You can just throw them on and set your air fuel screws and your idle screw, and either one of the three adjustments on the accelerator pump arm, and they just work. Get these floats out. They just have these pins here, and they just slide out. Trying to camera and do this at the same time. And then they just pop off. Basically, you just want to look at them, make sure you don't see no holes or anything. Shake it, see if there's any fluid on the inside. These are fine. And there's the needle and seat that we're replacing. And everything on these carbs is all pretty basic. Like, I'm just using a little bit driver with these bits, super simple, and you can, you know, do whatever you need. So get this float out of the way, place these with the new ones, get this gasket off. Comes with this new gasket, so it doesn't matter if you rip it or whatever. Okay, well, I took out the old needles and seats and replaced them with the new one. I got this new gasket on. I got this side done, but underneath those I had these little, like, mesh screens, kind of like filters. The camera won't focus on that, but they were a little dirty. Had, you know, a little bit of crap on them, but not much. But this kit comes with all this new stuff, so don't need that anymore. So finish that up, and then I'll next show you guys this part of it. So I took the squirter out, just has a gasket underneath it, and in this hole it had like a little like check ball type thing, and then this little copper piece, which this kit does come with new of those. You could still probably reuse that. That's probably perfectly fine. And then on this booster, it's nothing, you know, besides a gasket you got to replace. It looks like I'm gonna spray all these orifices out. And same thing on this back one. It just had a gasket on it, and you know, the two screws holding it, and that was it. So I'll finish this up and button it back together and put it back on the car and get it running. Well, got it back on there. Next thing I'm going to do is put this new timing pointer on it. The one that's on there is all bent to shit, so I feel like I'm not getting a true reading on my timing. And plus I put a smaller balancer on this motor. It's like a bracket racing 7 grand one that says it's good to like 12,000 RPMs, which this motor will never see. And it's like a 6.5 inch balancer. The stock ones I think are like an 8. And so I got this pointers for a 6 3/4 to 7 inch. It's just like a stock style cheap one. So I'm going to put that on there and then see where the timing's actually at. Okay, I got the old timing pointer off. You can see it's a little bent, and it was probably reading somewhat close, but not exact. So I got the new one. I marked the 0 with the red Sharpie, and I also marked the balancer, if you can see that. You can kind of see it at 36 degrees, and that's what I'm putting my full timing at. If you don't know how to set up your timing to start with, say you have the haven't even dropped the distributor in yet, you would get your number 1 cylinder to top dead center, which number 1's this first one. And on a small block Chevy, this is the odd bank 1357, and that's even bank 2468. But the easiest way to get it to top dead center is with the spark plug out, put your thumb over the hole, and with the ignition wire off, the distributor won't start. Turn it over until the compression builds up and blows your thumb out of the hole, and you'll be pretty close at that point. And then you can set your initial timing. And your typical initial timing for a small block Chevy is like 6 to 8 degrees for like a stock or maybe mildly modified motor. You can put them in at just straight top dead center at 0 degrees advance. It will run. It'll be kind of lazy, but it'll run that way just fine. With my motor, I have a semi-aggressive cam in it that likes timing. So I have, I think, 13 or 14 degrees initial timing, and then I'm all in at 36 degrees. And I'm not running the vacuum advanced. I'm just doing it all with the mechanical advance. And it seems to like that, and it performs really well. So that was my little brief description of, at least on a small block Chevy, setting timing. You can, kind of applies to anything, the general gist of it, but alright, get this pointer on there, and then see where the timing's at, and if it's not on 35, 36 like I want it, you just turn the distributor whichever way. If you want to advance it, you turn it left, and if you want to retard it, you turn it right. But alright, now I'm going to put the light on it. So this is my old ass timing light, but so basically just to set these up, it'll have a negative and positive little clip and then it'll have this wire that goes on the number 1 cylinder, and you'll point it at the balancer, and on this particular one you pull the trigger and it starts discoing the light, or whatever you want to say, and then you rev the motor up until it quits advancing, and then adjust your distributor accordingly. I was having a hard time filming and trying to actually adjust my timing, so I didn't show that. But so it was about the old pointer was reading off a good amount. Actually, it was actually only at like 30 degrees full timing when I thought I had it at like 35, but now so it's sitting at 36 the way I want it. And yeah, so that's it with that. So see you guys next time. That'll be it for this episode. Thank you.